Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the Hangout and Highlight session. So excited to highlight this amazing lady, Pasha Cook. Man, it's been blessed and fortunate to achieve some really neat things throughout her life and career. And so I'm so grateful to have her on and highlight her. So first, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the Success Chronicles.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invite.
Yes, yes. Well, let's dive into it if you don't mind.
Right.
Share a little bit about your background and let people know a little bit about your journey so they know who you are and what it is you do.
Well, to summarize it, I summarize it as being a dropout, going from a dropout to a dreamer. Had these ambitions with basketball, moved around a lot, pedal to post, as the old people say. And by the time I was a junior in high school, I lost eligibility to play, even though I was really highly recruited. And so basketball was my pipeline to success. It kept me in school. It kept me, showing up. And when that left, I was like, well, why go to school? But, fortunately, the WNBA came around 1997. We were having semi-pro basketball teams here in Houston. There were pipelines to the WNBA. So I thought I was going to leap. You know how we want to quantum leap to things, but God says we got to take steps. And a dear friend of mine, who is still a friend of mine, was a coach of a team, and he wouldn't let me play. So he, made some phone calls. As we know, relationships are everything. Got me a tryout, which is basically, it was not traditional. I had to show up at a gym 300 miles away and play pickup ball with some random guys to get my scholarship. So at 24, I got my first scholarship to junior college, and then I went on to play at Memphis and become a first-generation college graduate. And that was cool, but basketball was still like that pipeline, right? So as I transitioned out of college, I was lost because I thought I was going to try for the WNBA, had several injuries. So I went through that athletic identity phase of my life, that identity foreclosure, where you put more into what you do than who you are. You value more what you do than who you are. And eventually that led me to the work I'm doing today. But I left and went to New York, stayed there 10 years. And now I'm back in Houston in fashion, branding, management, branding consultant, all these things that have to do with image, which kind of is where I had my start at. A men's groomer for many years since I was a kid. Worked in luxury retail, personal shopping, stylist, professional stylist to athletes, professional athletes. And eventually I got a chance to work with the WNBA as a presenter, helping athletes to transition from amateur sports to their careers and their professional sports. And that resonated with me, right? Because I didn't even know it was a thing until I got the opportunity. And once I got that opportunity, eventually I wrote a couple of workbooks to help people to understand how to be self-leaders, really, from the inside out. And we'll get to talk about that in a minute. So I've been on this journey for a while. I started my own brand, Culture Life, which I'm wearing here. Working with people and helping just people to inspire people to honor their truth and who they are, to value themselves, to move away from identity foreclosure into more of emotional intelligence and self-development, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your story. It's so cool. Some of those things I knew and some of those things I didn't, but it's cool to hear that, and congratulations to you on all that you've been blessed to achieve.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun, and it's been sports pretty much. Even though it's always had this sports woven in, so I made 2018. I was very privileged to work for the NFL as the first female speaking ambassador for their program, their college program. And, I've spoken in Africa, spoken all over the country in many institutions and in corporate America and things like that. And that's why I tell people my story and hope to inspire them with my experience of being someone that dropped out, right? You drop out to dreamer. It didn't matter how you start, it's how you continue and how you finish.
Mm.
And so I've been led in all these rooms and all these places, so many that sometimes I don't even remember, right? Because you're just moving, you're just doing. But I really feel like I have been placed on this earth to inspire people through my demonstration. I think that that's what self leadership is. It's not a title. It's not because somebody's afraid of you or you're authoritative. It's people that desire to follow you because of your demonstration.
Man, so good. Well, you kind of you mentioned the self-leadership piece, and that was really what, a topic that we wanted to hit on is self-leadership. What is your, I know you mentioned some, but what is your definition of self-leadership?
It's really growth in the area, continued growth
Mm,
and seeking growth in the area of self awareness and self development. I think that I believe that a real leader leads through demonstration, leads through compassion, kindness, forgiveness, these traits that have to first start with yourself.
mm,
You can say, yeah, I forgive people easily, then I forgive myself, then that might not be true. Because what you are, who you are, is what you project into the world. So something doesn't add up there. Yeah, right. And that's where that self-development comes from. And I believe that self-development really is spiritual development as well, getting to know the truth of who you are and coming and going out into the world and demonstrating that person. And it's not a quick fix. It's
yeah.
never ending.
Hmm.
It's something that you continue to develop. But self leaders are emotional intelligent as well. They honor themselves, they honor their emotions. And when you do these, when you honor yourself in certain ways, then it's easier to honor other people in those ways as well.
So true. Just as I hear you speak about, honoring yourself and emotional intelligence and those things. I, I think that, I don't know, self-leadership is synonymous with self-discipline.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, a lot of characteristics that come with that. Yeah, and it's
Hmm.
kind of umbrellaed all there together. I tell this story that I learned about the lion, right? Who's the king of the jungle? The lion. And it goes along with this quote that says, leaders are born when they change their beliefs in themselves. It's not that you were born a leader, it's that you're born when you start to see yourself differently. And when you think about the lion, who is the king of the jungle, it's not bigger than or stronger than an elephant or a hippo. It's not taller than a giraffe. It's not as intelligent as a gazelle, right? But its belief, its confidence in itself, makes other animals who could definitely kill it bow down to it. That's what we have to believe about ourselves. You don't have to be the smartest, the biggest, the strongest, the this. It's a level of belief that's going to get you there. In order to get there and have that confidence, you got to be doing that inner work, right? And know your value.
Uh, I think, you know, um, man, I'm everywhere with what you just gave. I just think that I think of like the athlete, right? Um, and I heard you talk about your journey and what you had to do to get your first scholarship, and then have the opportunity where you play college, and then on after that. But then I was taking it back to, like, I was thinking about like growing up as a young guy, as an athlete, and you talked about putting in the work, right? And I think when you allow yourself to put in the work, or eliminate the distractions, and just put the work in, you build a confidence within you because you know that you've put the work in, right? And so now when you're in that big game or it's a big situation, And like, no, I want the ball. I want to take that shot, right? And you want to take that shot because, like, bro, like you wouldn't with me shooting in the gym.
Oh man, in practice, a couple of things I'm thinking about say that. Number one is people say practice makes perfect. I disagree. It's how you
Practice.
practice.
Yeah.
It's how you practice and how consistently you practice, right? And now how much you are willing to adjust because you might be practicing more wrong, right? And so that's another thing. And the other part about that is, yes, you can be in the gym by yourself, but a lot of times you're better when you're in the gym with other people. Someone, rebounding the ball for you, if that's the least they can do, things like that. Um, we have to understand that just because I'm saying self leadership, it doesn't mean just you. You are the conduit to the belief. And I didn't have the belief in the beginning. A dropout. Come on now. Do you think I saw myself? Like I saw myself, but I didn't see myself. And some of the places I've been blessed to go. But it was other people who believed in me. And sometimes I had to, hang on to that belief because I trusted them. So you got to have people around you that you know, like, and trust as
Mm.
mentors, as people in your circle. That stuff really does matter because attitude is contagious. And so even in sports like tennis, you still got coaches, you still have people that practice with you. So you never do it on your own, but you are a demonstration of living what you speak, which a lot of people don't do, right? And so it's a journey. It's a journey.
I love that. Well, what are some tips that you can give people to help them develop their self leadership, if you will?
Tips, let me think. Number one, know that your purpose is already in you. And a part of that purpose includes people. You have to be of service. You have to be someone that is willing to be mentored and also that would mentor others. So lift as you climb. As you keep climbing and you keep learning, you you pass that information on to others so that more people can gain. What so when I think about this, I think about legacy too, as a self-leader. Legacy to me is not trying to impress people, not trying to impress people. It's leaving an impression through your demonstration. And you have to think about, like, what are people going to say about you? You're no longer not, people are going to say what they're going to say, but you're leaving an impression. It could be as today. I took my mom to a doctor's appointment. I'm taking her to the doctor, and I believe in God's timing about things too. So I take her to the doctor's appointment. We get out there, we get out the car, and we're walking up the stairs, and this lady is coming, and she has one of those, four-legged canes, and she's moving slow. And most of the people, as I looked around the parking lot, it was more handicapped parking than regular parking. So this must be a place that people come, that have some ailments of what have you. And this woman is getting to the edge there's only two stairs. She's getting to the edge and she's like, can you help me down? Absolutely. Right? We're strangers until there is support needed. Because that's why God puts us here on this earth. So to just be able to do that and make her day, and we walked up at this exact time that she needed a hand. And so I don't think that those things are arbitrary. And that's leaving an impression, even if she never knows my name. That's legacy, right? And that's also being of service, which, going back to some of the things, being of service to other people is not just about you. Doing personal development. And that looks like, for me, spiritual development, spending quiet time, writing, journaling, praying, learning, being an avid learner. Like even in sports, you got to be a student of the game. And in life, you got to you don't just learn once, right? So be an avid learner, be somebody that is malleable, that can learn from other people. You can learn from anybody. You don't have to accept anybody's opinion. Two different things. Because a man on the street can teach you something, but you might not honor his opinion about something. So we have to know the difference between these things and keep chipping away at it, Chip. Keep chipping away at developing yourself. That's the most important part.
So good. So many good tips. Um, I think some things that come up for me is prioritizing uh, what's important to you.
Mm.
Um, like you talked about, strive to be the example through service. And then I think there's a for me a flow, I think. I think it starts with our habits, right? And our habits build our routines. Routines give us consistency, and then that consistency builds trust, right? And so, other people, people around us, they trust us because we're consistent. But then, even bigger than that, when you talk about self leadership, you learn to trust yourself because you show yourself that you can do some pretty cool things because of your habits, routines, consistency, and the trust that you've had. And so, like we talked about earlier, that takes work.
It takes work. And even with the habits, you gotta, so one of the most important elements of all of this is taking personal inventory often. Because even some of the habits that got you here ain't gonna get you there. Some things have to change. So be willing to adjust, right? The habit of maybe, say for instance, getting up and working out, having a strenuous workout at 6 a.m. might change to, you know what, I'm going to do the heavy lifting 3 days a week. And I'm going to incorporate stretching or Pilates or something else that's a little bit, more lenient on my joints as you start to grow. So the thing about it is like Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan started his career, he was dunking, he was doing, but as he matured, his game matured. And that's the thing. Your game has to mature along with you. So be willing to make adjustments in your habits and routines. And some habits people don't even know they have. They just think it's, oh, this is just who I am. So that personal inventory is very important. And the next important part of that is having people around you that are willing to tell you the truth. Because see, we have blind spots. That's why it's not just about you and it's not just you. We have blind spots as people, and it's just a thing. So you got to have people around you that are also holding you accountable, but you are the first line of accountability in your own life.
So good. Well, as we close, I'd love for you to get an opportunity to share with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love with all of the great things you got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram, Facebook, Pasha Cook, PASHACOOK. My website also is pashacook.com. And I want to share this. I don't know when you're actually going to launch this podcast, but we have a workshop coming up. It's called The Power of You. Well, I've teamed together with a couple other ladies that I'm bringing in to really help people hone in and leave with some valuable tools and resources to start to be self-leaders, start to implement these things, on a spiritual, mental, and physical level. So it's going in that direction. May 20th and 22nd, I'll be putting that out this weekend. We have a conversation going on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Facebook Live, where it's a power for you. So you'll get a glimpse of a conversation about what we're going to be going into. But it really got put on my heart, doing the branding stuff to do something a little bit more deeper because personal branding and personal leadership go hand in hand for me. So yeah, at pashacook.com, Pasha Cook on Instagram, everywhere. Just Pasha, if you just Pasha Cook, just Google it. I should be out there somewhere.
There you go. Well,
Yeah,
Pasha, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us and talking self leadership. And those of you that go follow and check her out. You won't be disappointed. You'll learn some things for sure. And so, Pasha, thank you, and I wish you continued success.
so much. And thank you for having me on. And I look forward to coming back with more, whatever that looks like, anytime you want to have.
And you have an open invitation anytime you're ready. Let's get it.
Thanks, Chip.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And thank you guys for checking out this session. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.